Good morning, students. Today we'll be seeing topic array. What is array? Array, which mainly stores a fixed size sequential collection of elements of same types. It is mainly used to store a collection of data, but often more useful to think it as a collection of variables of same type. You could say that array it consists of contiguous memory locations where the lowest address corresponds to the first element and the highest address corresponds to the last element. Let's see declaring an array. In order to declare an array in C++, first the programmer must specify the type of the element as well as the number of elements required by an array. Its syntax is given as the data type as well as array name, and then you need to declare the size of array. Your data type could be any, including like integer or float. Here the syntax given is actually a single dimension array. Here you could say that it is said to be a single dimension array. It must be an integer constant and must be greater than 0, and type can be any valid C++ data type. Now initializing array. You can initialize C++ array elements either by one or using a single statement as follows. Like we have taken data type as integer and array name have been taken as array and size been declared as 5, and the number of elements been stored. Here are 5 elements, that is the first element being stored here is 10, the second element stored here is 15, third element is 20, fourth element stored here is 25, as well as fifth element stored here is 30. Now let's see a small program in order to store the elements into an array. Here we have included a header file, that is IOStream, then using namespace standard. While the main function, your code being executed. First we have taken a data type as integer, and we have taken here array name as age and declare a size, that is 5, and here we have stored 5 number of elements into an array, that is 19, your first element, 18 second element, then 21 be the third element, 20 is your fourth element, and 17th here is your fifth element. Now while using for loop, we have taken a data type integer where x has been initialized to 0. Here the condition must be, that is x must be less than 5, right? And your x, it has been incremented, and in cout, as we were able to find out, that is age of x. Here age is actually an array what we have been made naming age, and then you'll be able to find out an output that the number of elements here is 5, and you will be see the number of elements is being stored into an array, that is 19, 18, 21, 20 as well as 17. Now let's move to insertion of the array elements at n position. In the first diagram you could see there are 6 elements being stored, that is 23, 54, 32, 56, 45, 39. Now suppose if I want to insert the element at n position, suppose I want the new element, that is 55, and I want to insert it to the last position. So what happened? The element would be inserted into the last position, that is after 39 one new space would be taken by a new element. Let's see how we're going to do this. First, you need to include header file, that is iostream. Then while using namespace standard in your main function, first we are going to declare array, and we have taken data type as integer data type, and I have taken array name as ARR, and here we have declared size, that is 8. Okay, I have even taken I and a variable num. Here num is actually a new element which we going to insert at the end position of an array list. Now in cout we will going to enter 7 elements. Okay, since we have declared size 8, first we're going to enter 7 element, and the last size or the last element would be the new element. The space would be defined for the new element, and total it would be actually the space 8. Okay, now while using for loop, your index value I has been initialized to 0, where the condition would be, that is I would be less than 7, and then I has been incremented. In cin you're going to store the value of array of I. In cout we're going to enter the new element, right? In cin going to store the number, that is the new element which you want to be inserted at the end position. In array of I you're going to store that new number. Then in cout we're going to print, that is the new array. Again here we'll be using a for loop. Here the value has been initialized to 0, then the condition, in condition your index value I, it must be less than 8, and then it has been incremented. This another for loop is mainly used to print the new list while adding a new element. As the new element has been inserted into the array list, this for loop has been used, and it will be going to give you the new array list after adding a new element. And then in cout we are going to put the value, that is array of I, and you will be getting the new list. Let's see the output. Suppose you want to enter 7 elements. Here the 7 elements are being entered, that is 23, 32, 43, 45, 56, 65 as well as 76. Suppose now we're going to enter the new element, which we want, that is suppose 88. Then after the new element is being printed at the end of the list, as you're going to see the second new list in which 88 is being added at the last position, and this is the new list, the new array list. So here you could see this was the insertion of array element at the end position. Now let's move to another one. Now let's see the insertion of array element at specific position. In the first diagram you could see that there are 5 number of elements being stored, that is 10, 20, 30, 40 as well as 50. Suppose I want to store a new element, that is 25, into the third position, right? Now what will happen? Let's see the second diagram. See the first and the second position, the first and the second element, then there is no changes, nothing has been changed into first and second place, right? But since I want to store 25 into the third position, you would see that 25th, the element 25th has taken position third, it has been stored in third position, and later on the already existed element, that is 30, is being shifted to the next place, that is 30 element has taken place of element 40. Another element, that is 40, it has taken place of element 50, and so on. That means whenever a new element is being inserted to any specific position, it could be whether third position, it could be fourth position, what will happening or what is happening here, your already existed elements, the elements which are already existed, they are being shifted to the next position. Those elements, it would be shifted to the next place, to the next positions, and then that space has been vacant, and so that your new element would be inserted into that vacant place. Let's see how we're going to do this. First, you're going to include a header file, that is iostream, then using namespace standard, right? Then in your main function, first you're going to declare array size. As here we have taken a data type, that is integer data type, and we have taken array name as ARR, and size what we have declared is 50. And then we have also declared I, and we have taken some different variables. First we have taken variable element, another variable what we have taken is position, and another element or another variable, that is total. First in cout you're going to print enter array size, right? And in scene you're going to store the total number or total size. And then in cout you're going to enter the array elements. Here you have taken for loop. Here I going to be initialized, actually it has been initialized to 0, and condition here I is actually less than total, and your I has been incremented. Again in Cn you're going to store the array value of array of I. Next you're going to in cout you're going to enter the element which is going to be inserted, that is the new element which you want to be inserted. In C you're going to store, that is a new element, okay, which you want to insert. In cout again we're going to print what, a position. In Cin you're going to store the position, at what specific position you want to store that element, the new element. Now your for loop has been used. Here I has been initialized to total, where condition is greater than or equals to a position, and I has been decremented. And here you would see that array of I is equals to array of I minus 1. This for loop has actually been here used for shifting purpose. What is happening when the new element is being entering or the new element has been inserted, so your previous element, the already existed element, and the other elements are actually shifting to the next place, and while they are shifting, so they are making a vacant place for a new element to be inserted at that specific position. So here you could see that array of I here has been taken as array of I minus 1. Suppose that is, it means that suppose here it's array of 4, and 4 minus 1, here it will become 3. That means your third array of third, that is third position, is being shifted to fourth, and so on. And an array of I, that at specific position your new element will be going to insert it, and total is being incremented. And then in cout you will print the new array. Again you have taken here for loop where I has been initialized to 0, and condition would be I less than total, okay. And at last here in cout you will be going to put the value of array of I, right? And here what happening, your new element has been inserted at the specific position. Let's see its output. Suppose you have entered the size 4, okay. So now the elements being entered here is suppose 12, 23, 45, 56. The new element is going to be entered or to be inserted as suppose 60, and at what position we want, that is suppose your position being described as 3, That means we want new element 60 to be inserted at third position. The first list what we been seeing that at third position already number 45 is already been existed, or it's already been present, right? So now what happened, at third position the new element being inserted, that is 60, and the previous elements would be going to shift to the other places. So here the new array would be 11, 23, and then 60 is being actually is being at position third position, right? It has been inserted at third position, and then the other elements are there, it is 45 as well as 56. So today this much for today's lecture. Thank you.